Hey, what's up? What's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And tonight we're going to be talking about Katt Williams yet again. So, as you guys know, Katt Williams recently did an interview with Shannon Sharpe on his podcast called Club Shay Shay, and it literally broke the internet and still is breaking the internet. As of right now, people are still responding. There's still people, pulling up receipts and so on and so forth. Now, during the height of this interview, Katt Williams has now received an Emmy Award. And on the heels of him receiving an Emmy Award, he has now done a new interview with Willie D live. Now, Willie D is a YouTuber who goes over all types of content, but he also used to be a rapper back in the day from the group Ghetto Boys. So he has built quite a large following and things of that nature because he has both his Ghetto Boys audience and his new YouTube audience combined together. And he goes over some really interesting and good topics. So with that being said, and Katt Williams seemingly being a fan of Willie D, as he stated in this interview, he has sat down with him and he is going in again on the Friday situation. He also is talking about two new comedians that we did not hear him talk about in the last interview. Now, one of the comedians that Willie D brought up was a guy by the name of Ali Sadique. I just don't feel like he deserves to be mentioned in the height of all of these attention that he has. But I just feel like where Katt Williams is, what he's doing with his fame and talking and things like that, I just don't feel like the guy, and I guess because he's Willie D's friend, Willie D felt necessary to bring him up, but I just feel like he just wasn't somebody that needed to be added to the conversation, but it is what it is. They talked about it, so we're going to talk about it here. So in the interview, Willie D started off by basically asking him follow-up questions about his childhood and trying to get more in-depth background on his family life and how he ended up to be on the streets at 13 and getting more like follow-up questions about that. Okay. So then after that, he started talking about, I guess, a time when he got arrested with Suge, and basically explaining what happened. So he says that him and Suge had got into like an altercation in Beverly Hills where a woman was accusing Katt Williams of jumping on her. And Katt Williams and Suge were both facing 20 years each. But the case ended up being dismissed after they seen the footage of Beverly Hills. And he pretty much goes in and describes that situation. Now, following him talking about him getting arrested with Suge and breaking down all of the things that happened about that, they segued into this Ali Sadique guy. Now, before this interview, I never heard of Ali Sadique, don't know who he is. This is my very first time ever being introduced who he is as a person. And again, I just don't feel like this was the time to give him a spotlight because he should build his name on his own without Katt Williams. Basically, after he talked about the Suge situation, Willie D basically wanted to know, could he then provide clarity on this Ali Sadique guy? And so basically, Ali Sadique is a comedian based out of Houston, and it appears that Willie D interviewed him 2 years ago. So 2 years ago on Willie D's platform, Ali Sadique talked about how Katt Williams got him booted out of a club to perform, and he basically described it on Willie D's platform. So I'm going to play a little bit of what he said 2 years ago, and then I'm going to play what Katt Williams said about the situation, and then I'm going to also play his response to Katt Williams' interview as well. Now, in addition to him talking about this Ali Sadique guy, he also doubled down talking about Ricky Smiley and Friday. And he also talked about the radio host that he roasted on the radio. So as you guys know, it was a comedian by the name of Wanda Smith who he roasted and he just annihilated her on the radio sometime back. And Willie D basically wanted to know the background of that situation and what happened and what prompted him to go in on her like that. And he gives clarity, and we're going to go over that as well. So buckle up, buckle up, buckle up. Y'all know I got to pull up all the receipts and go on over this. But the interview is already doing really well. It was posted 11 hours ago, and it's already almost at 2 million views. So again, I just really don't feel like this Ali Sadique guy deserved most of the damn interview. I just feel like, and as soon as Willie brung up this Ali Sadique guy, you can see like Katt Williams' mood kind of changed. Like this what we talking about? This guy, his mood kind of changed after that. And you know, the interview, Willie D asked good questions to me, like because he asked different questions. Like he asked about his background, he asked about him being a comedian, he asked about his life, but he asked different questions than the Shannon Sharpe interview, which I liked because it wasn't like as repetitive. We learned different aspects of things that he talked about. But according to Katt Williams, at the end of the interview, he said that Willie D asked the worst questions ever in an interview that he has been asked. But I thought Willie asked good questions. But anyways, I just didn't like the Ali guy because, like, why are we talking about him? But anyways, since they talked about him, let me give it a go as well. So let's go to the Ali interview that Willie D did 2 years ago. So it says, Ali Sadique says Katt Williams tried to treat him like a bum in Houston, and Sadique said that he is ready for war. So this interview took place 2 years ago on Ghetto Boys Reloaded. So let's play it. I'm a speed up the playback speed because we ain't got all day.
I have no idea. Still to this day. And this, I'm cool. I'm just wondering, you want back in the building? The lady said, go get your stuff. I'm going to walk away. Really, just when the button get pushed. They wrote me a check, and they came and paid me. And that's how they paid me. I'm standing there, and over the shoulder of security, I just see a check come over his arm. See niggas paying me like I'm some fucking bum nigga, like y'all a handout. Okay, cool. I'm sitting in the parking lot. This nigga put me out. This nigga put me out of a building. He didn't put me out. I walked out. I wouldn't let back in Houston. And I don't know what the fuck is going on. And I'm sitting there, and I start getting mad. I start seething. Funky Larry Jones saw me walking back toward that building. He said, "Man, what's up?" I'm saying, "I'm finna address this nigga because I got a problem for him." Told him what it was. And now this time, I'm so mad, I'm not even thinking to call GT. GT DJing on the stage. I can just call this nigga and we can get this shit popping right now. I say, okay, cool, this nigga got a problem with me or something. I run in the car in LA. He said, "Man, I still don't know." My partner on tour with him, he said, "Play me on some, put this nigga out the building, pay this nigga over the shoulder type shit." I'm like, all right.
I'm skipping through it, guys, because I don't feel like sitting through it. So anyways, he said Katt Williams booked him to perform at a comedy show. And then once he got there, I guess, to perform, Katt Williams put him out the building and paid him his money. So anyways, let's go to Willie D's interview. And let me go to the timestamp where Katt Williams basically clarifies what happened.
Because of that clarity you just provided,
yes,
is the reason why I want to know. I think the world want to know what happened between you and Ali Sadique. I know you said
the
you
world
couldn't
couldn't possibly want to know that. He's not famous enough for the world to want to know that.
Right.
Because my side of the world doesn't want to know that.
So
I didn't my side of the world.
Here's the thing.
What happened, man?
A lot of times what liars do first is they set up a narrative and a scenario. Like Michael Blackson just got on national TV and told people, yeah, I got a beef with Katt Williams, and Katt is mad at me about this, and because I said this, and I didn't even mean it like that. And the whole time, he's never talked to me. That's how he feels. He's heard I'm angry. I've not had a conversation with him. It's the same with your Ali Sadique. If it wasn't for the information that I know in my intel, I would be a fan of his like everybody else. Who wouldn't be a fan of a young black storyteller that's done time and loves his family and is a hometown guy? Like, why would he ever have any enemies in comedy? It's ludicrous. But if you pick the actual king, then make sure that your story is correct. And unfortunately, his story is not correct. No matter what he says, he never met me. He made it disrespectful that a security guard that was 6'7" reached over him to pay him, not mentioning the fact that he got paid for not doing anything.
Well, let's start at the beginning of the Reliant thing.
I don't know if I wanna.
I'm gonna
Go
start,
ahead.
and then you can do what you want to do.
Fair enough.
But I think for the sake of the audience knowing, just
Tell them
have
who
an
Ali
idea of
Sadique
what we're
is
talking
first.
about. Ali Sadique is a comedian from Houston. That's based in Houston.
And I'm glad that Katt Williams told Willie D to tell us who Ali Sadique is, because I live in California. Some of you guys know who he is. Somebody said Ali got a free coin. I don't see why he was mad. Somebody else said Ali is really funny. I mean, yeah, but a lot of us in the rest of the world, I had no idea who he was. Never heard of him. But thanks to Katt Williams and Willie D bringing him up, now people like me who didn't know who he was now knows who he was. Do I feel like he deserved to be mentioned in me knowing who he is in this capacity for this reason? No, I don't. But anyways, so he explains to us who don't know him that he's this comedian based out of Houston. And then he goes on to explain whatever he knows the issue to be.
A very fine comedian.
Very fine comedian.
Yes.
Now, Ali said that he went to a Reliant arena and he was on the same show as you. He showed up, and the security stopped him from entering the building.
Yeah.
And they said, then somebody told him Katt didn't want you to come in.
Somebody in the chat said, "What interview is this?" This is his interview that just dropped today with Willie D. So he just dropped a new interview today with Willie D. So this is new.
Entering the building.
Yeah.
And they said, then somebody told him Katt didn't want you to come in. And then at some point, somebody else came and gave him a check. Another security person reached over somebody's shoulder and gave him a check. He said that the people that were the working security locked arms to prevent him from walking inside of the building. And he thought that, you had a problem with him. And he said he didn't know why you had a problem with him. And to this day, he don't know why you have a problem with him. That was the.
It'd be nice if that was the story. So now, if that's the story, then let me see if I got this correct. A guy I've never met was supposed to be doing a show with me. And I got so angry, even though I hadn't met him, that I had security keep him out of the building. See, that's the problem with lies. They're faulty from their inception, sir. I'm the person in the story that doesn't have a grudge to feel. I don't care why I didn't like Katt Williams. I would get to the bottom of it. This is not one of those stories. First of all, the actual truth of this matter is, every city that I go to, I already have the comedians who are opening up for me. Not just this tour, but for the 17 100 city tours previous to this. I never go to the city and go, hey, do you guys have some comics here? I'd like to add them to my show. I just don't do it. I travel with the comedians that are coming to your city. We're one unit and one team when we come. That is to let you understand that no comic was fin to come join us that evening because there isn't space for it. I still have to do an hour at the end of this. There's a limited amount of time. So we could just start there. Second of all, I don't care where you're from, what the venue is, how cool you are with the people that work there. Katt Williams show means Katt Williams show. That means don't nothing move but the money. There ain't no loud talking and voice raising and, how dare you? How dare you? Let me look on the advertisements and see, do I see your name or face, sir, whoever you may be? Where would you even get the entitlement to be having this question? This is like me insisting that the Lakers put me on as a starter.
Thank you for the super chat. K Bragg says, is this a Tory Lanez doppelganger? That hairline say he needs to ask his daddy some questions. Y'all are crazy. Hold on, let me screenshot that super chat in case. Let's finish.
And I won't take no for an answer. It's ridiculous. You don't even play in our league. And that's before I knew who you were. Now that I know who you are, I'm just ashamed because you took something personal that couldn't have been personal. I didn't meet you. That's how it would have gone if I wasn't there, because the truth is I wasn't there. All of this happened before I got there.
What happened with the check? When the security guy gave him the check?
When I asked what the person had said, I said, well, I don't understand. I don't understand why he's so angry. What did he say to you? He said, I'm supposed to be on this show. I said, well, maybe he was expecting to get some sort of a payment. And now he thinks he doesn't get to get paid because we already have a tour. I wouldn't want that. Pay him for performing. So he got the check of the performer. This is what he's angry about. Imagine the audacity.
All right. So they go on for a while talking about this. And Katt Williams basically said, like, he was mad because he was supposed to perform. And he didn't get to perform because Katt Williams said he already had the people already set to perform. So instead of him being bitter and feeling like, you know, he's slighted and he's not getting the money that he was supposed to get, Katt Williams says, just to appease him, let me pay him his money and send him on his way. And so the guy felt like he made him be a bum or whatever because of that. And he wanted to fight Katt Williams. Katt Williams goes on to talk about that as well, and how the guy says that he wanted to set up a celebrity boxing match. And Katt Williams basically says, well, if I felt like he was a celebrity, then maybe we could have did that, but he ain't a celebrity in my eyes. So therefore, that didn't happen. Shout out to Gary Austin, who sent in a new super chat, and shout out to I Am Ocean Wife, who says that Nick is sleeping always so beautiful. Thank you so much. Let me highlight those. Let's get y'all super chats up here. So the guy ended up responding to this interview. Self Talk is a YouTuber who was able to catch this. So make sure you go to Self Talk over on YouTube. Let me show their YouTube thing. And they were able to capture his response. All right. So hold on. So this is him right here. And it was captured by a YouTuber by the name of Self Talk. And this is what he had to say.
If your business is comedy, that you know comedy. So you have went to places and random comics just showed up and people paid them because they showed up and they wanted to perform. He wanted to perform. I felt bad he didn't get a chance to, so I paid this nigga for 2 days.
Well, you know, that's kind of how he is.
I knew you was gonna say it. Hey man, if you watch this, brother. If you look up his network, you Google that nigga's network and you Google mine. We $500,000 on par. No. So why would this nigga give me 15? Why would this nigga give me a random ass? He just walk up and get $1,500 for one performance.
Damn.
I didn't cash the check. I didn't cash the check. I gave the money back. I didn't cash. I put the nigga check up. I jumped in my fucking truck. And nobody in Houston is going. The 7,000 that was there. Nobody's gonna believe this shit. They gonna be like, wait a minute.
No.
That says, and I'm talking, and I'm being real, bro. And this ain't no arrogant shit. It's like, I don't know nobody who you could find that does not know me. And you saying that you've been doing stand-up for 13 years and you don't know me?
Yeah, but don't take it as an insult.
No. I'm not taking this as an insult.
Yes.
I'm taking this as this. This is what I'm taking this as. LA. That's all I'm taking it as LA. And I've always said this about LA. LA comics and comedy is in a bubble that they have no idea what's really happening in that stand-up.
That is absolutely true.
So I'm not taking it as hands on there. I'm just saying, and I can understand because you just said you was from LA. So it nullifies and explains.
My thing is, if he paid you your fee, why are you so mad? I would be mad if I felt like I was supposed to perform or somebody promised me to perform and I expected money and I didn't get my money. If you were expecting to perform, but you didn't perform, but you still got your fee, like, why are you mad about that? Like, I'm so confused. Like, is this like what is, like, would y'all take that as disrespect if a person gave you your full payment? Like, does his logic even make sense?
A lot to me.
Yeah, because you're right about that. We actually are in a bubble. We believe that we're the best of anybody in the United States. We believe we're comparable to New York City. We believe all these things. All right? That part is true. The only difference is I don't really aspire to that anymore.
All right? This is what, and I used to say this about LA Comics. LA Comics believe all what you said.
Yes.
With one successful comic from LA, D.L. Hughley. They got one successful comic from LA. Everybody else is influenced. But
all right, so anyways, he goes on to talk more. You can see the rest on Self-Talk. So moving on. So he talked about Friday, and he talked about Ricky Smiley and the whole Friday thing. And it basically was more of the same of what he already said. He basically was talking about how the character was designed for him and how he added all this value to the role, and how it didn't make sense for Ricky Smiley to play that role in the first place. And it was pretty much what he said about Ricky Smiley was literally the same thing that he said in the Shannon Sharpe interview. It wasn't really nothing more or less said. It was pretty much the same. Like he cultivated the wardrobe. He got an actual pimp to play the role. He talked about how it didn't make sense for him to play a Santa Claus as 5 foot whatever he is. And he talked about how he talked about that. So it was just more of the same. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna just show you guys what Ricky Smiley has said in response. So Ricky Smiley had a video after all of these things was going viral where he kind of broke down crying, and he was like making his coffee, and he had the camera on, and he was kind of just breaking down crying. And a lot of people thought that he was crying because of this whole Katt Williams situation, and that is what brought it on. But he came forward after that recently, and he clarified to say that that wasn't why he cried.
And it really made sense, and it only confirmed some of my thoughts anyway. So I'm standing in front of the coffee machine crying, and people took that and said, and put on a caption that I was crying because of what was said about me. And I ain't never, not in my adult years, ever broke down and cried because somebody said something about me. That don't even make logical sense. It just don't. It don't make no logical sense that I would go in a room and put myself on a Facebook live and cry because of what another comedian said about me, and people sharing the video.
Thank you.
Do it make sense to you? What I'm crying for, I didn't do anything to anybody. I haven't done nothing to Omega, but had a brain fart and couldn't spin off the 4 cards because somebody was talking in my ear and I'm being rushed into commercial break. They can talk to you through the headphones. Somebody's talking to you down the line through my Beat by Dre's, just in case you didn't know that. So I'm being criticized and ridiculed for that. And now I'm crying because of what somebody said about me. Mind you, my son died in January, and every day that it get close to the 29th of January, I can't even explain the anxiety that go through my body all day. I don't even know why January and not December. The holidays was already rough. I made the best out of it because I got grandkids and people that I was trying to make happy. But man, this month right here, anybody that had suffered losing a loved one, when that 1 year come, just the air alone, the air, the sky, the sun, the leaves on the trees or off the trees. I remember every April, I remember when my grandmama died, I just remember blooms on the dogwood trees. My grandmother died late April, and that's when the trees started blooming. And that, for years, that upset me when I would see trees blooming in the spring.
All right, so he basically is saying that he wasn't triggered by Katt Williams. He was triggered by his son. All right, moving on. So next in the interview, they talked about religion. They talked about what his views are on religion. They talked about his family background. And then they also talked about Wanda Smith. So like I said, he basically had this iconic roast where he roasted this female radio host after she confronted him on the radio. So in this interview with Willie D, So in this interview with Willie D, and you guys can catch the full interview on Willie D's channel, Willie D Live. That's the thumbnail for it. It's an hour and 3 minutes. It says Katt Williams goes in again and clears the air after breaking the internet. So in this new interview, Willie D starts to ask him about Wanda. And I wish Willie D had more... He did a good interview and it was an hour long, but I feel like there was so much more that Katt Williams probably would have talked about or probably would have been willing to talk about. But it seemed like he just abruptly was like done. But then again, we never know what happens on the back end, because sometimes you could be recording a show and there people could maybe hold up something that say wrap it up. We don't know if that is the case, because that could very well be the case as well. You know, somebody could have been like, okay, we're done, like on his team, like hold up something like you got 5 minutes, or, you know, so that could be something that happened in the back end. But if that wasn't something that happened on the back end, it feels a little like it was rushed. Even though it was an hour long, it still felt a little rushed to me. Like it was like started and then as soon as I was getting into the interview, like it was over. So, but anyways, so he talks about Wanda at the, I want to say it was the 51-minute mark. So let's go to that. And then I'm going to show you guys the roast that he did. Actually, let me show y'all the roast. And I'm going to speed it up, and I'm not going to play the whole thing. And then we're going to talk about why he did what he did. So this iconic roast right here.
Red Grant.
How many kids you got, Wanda?
I have 3 boys.
Excellent.
Yes, I do.
Aren't boys simple?
Mm-hmm.
Aren't boys simple?
They can be. They can be.
Yeah. Wanda knows she did.
I'm what?
She did.
Let me speed up the playback speed, y'all. It's going to go by real quick, but hey, we speeding it up.
Didn't do as much cooking in the latter years as she did in the beginning.
Whatever. I cook. I do it all.
I didn't say that she
Well,
didn't.
that's right. I did it in the beginning and the middle and the end.
What's your favorite thing to cook? Your boys,
They like for me to. I do a really nice broccoli. They like my broccoli and they love my baked chicken.
Hey, right now, look up your phone and see what it takes to make broccoli. And tell me what it doesn't say heat up water. That's the only step in broccoli, heat up water.
Simmer.
Have you ever heard of burned broccoli? Can you burn broccoli? You can't burn because it's made in a pot of water.
You don't know nothing about.
You know what the second meal they love from it? What I do with corn. I like to get it out that can, and I put it in there, and then I get a can of water, and I put it on there, and then I get some Zatarans. They don't expect that. I sprinkle
I'm a great cook. Whatever.
Yes, ma'am. You good at heating stuff up.
You're good at telling us about what's going on in jail.
Yes, ma'am, and getting out to tell you. But I'm going to tell you at an arena named Phillips, and you're going to tell me at the Atlanta Comedy Theater.
Right, true.
Tomorrow, be there.
All right.
Red Grant Show. I know I'll be there. Don't miss it.
Red Grant, Katt Williams, thank y'all for coming through.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming in.
I see why people come to Wanda's show.
Yeah.
Because Frank Ski puts it down.
Don't out here with that crazy ass.
Is he crazy?
And help me get to the salon. All right, it's the People Station Viewer 3. Your hair is kind of...
My hair is 19 inches long and I have no perm.
You don't?
Oops.
Oh, that's not a perm.
No, it is not. Nice lady.
That's natural?
Come run one of your gnarled fingers. While you on air, so they can hear you live.
Come on, let me come over here.
No. That's not how that works.
Oh, okay, well then stay over there.
Don't worry, ain't nobody putting their hands through yours.
That's right, they don't have to. I don't want hell out of here. You okay?
Only one of our hands moving while we talk.
Are you all right? Are you okay?
Red Grant, Atlanta Comedy.
Tell Wanda to take off the headphones and that wig.
And make sure.
Wig and the headphones on together.
All that clothes you got on. How about that? Yeah, they're old.
Versace, yeah.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
She said, I want to apologize to the people at Versace Collection.
All right, so he goes in on her. And in the Willie D interview, he asked him about it. So let me go to the timestamp. It was around the 51-minute mark or so.
The good and the bad. And
where it presents itself, it'll show you a whole new side of you. It's very important. It's very important. When you lie and allow lies.
I don't know how long that was, but man, I was like, time out, call the police, something, stop this slaughter, man. He was like, you really did a bad. And you didn't, I don't think you cursed one time.
I was going to say, be very careful when you say.
They spent way too much time on that Ali Sadique guy. I'm so irritated that the Ali Sadique guy got so much of the interview. Like, it took them so long to then segue to the next topic because they spent so much time on this Ali Sadique guy. And then it went to Ricky Smiley and then Wanda. But let's continue.
How badly I did her because I never called her out of her name.
But that's what I'm saying.
I was very composed.
That's my point.
But let me explain. Let me give you the exclusive.
No, let me make the point. Okay. You're one of the few comedians, like only you and Bruce I've ever seen do that before. Like destroy a heckler or someone that was challenging you or whatever. Destroy them, for like several minutes. I mean, Bruce killed this chick for about, I don't know, man, about 25, 30 minutes one night in Houston. And I never seen anybody else do that. But you, like 25, just back to back, gut busting, like same person, right. No cuss words.
Yep.
I had never seen that before. So how were you able to maintain your composure for that long?
Well, a very interesting thing happens when you try to trap something that's bigger than your trap. So imagine you set out a trap for a turtle and a rhinoceros steps into it. It's finna be a whole different situation now.
And basically he says that he felt like she set him up because he told her there were certain things that, I think he said there were certain things that he didn't want to discuss and she did anyways.
This lady behind the scenes is begging me to come into this interview that I've not scheduled, that I don't want to do, that I'm not dressed for, that nobody's called me about. She just wants it. To the point where she says, Katt, come on, you just want to end me for the city. I just want to give you your flowers. Well, I won't talk about kids. I won't talk about no jail. I won't talk about... This is the conversation she has with me and then goes in that room and doesn't mention the Emmy and immediately begins to... Because this is a comedian. You're trying to undermine me. Atlanta is a heavily LGBTQ plus positive city. And the fact that you having a heavy gay fan base would try to degrade me, a heterosexual, by making it seem like I'm gay. Gay people don't feel that way about me. Why would you? So it was a terrible thing that she...
It seems like he really has like a stickler for people trying to like portray him as gay or insinuating that he's gay. And that is also another thing that he talked about in this interview as well. He talked about a time where when he was on the streets, a gay man tried him or whatever. And so I feel like that incident must have really traumatized him because he's talked about like before that incident when he was a child, he didn't really, understand or know about like what gay was or what gay people were. And he talked about him like being on the streets and in the park and homeless, and like this guy tried him and was like flirting with him when he was a kid and, trying him. And he talked about that also in this interview. So it seems like, when gay stuff comes up, it really triggers him. Okay. But yeah, so let's continue.
Found herself in, and comedically, you're outmatched. My defense is impenetrable. My offense will have the precise amount of viciousness that's necessary. If that means no cussing, that's fine. I don't want to talk to you and hurt heavy-set women's feelings or dark-skinned women's feelings or women who wear wigs' feelings. I'm not trying to hurt nobody's feelings. I'm bantering with you because you keep acting like you're qualified to do that. Yeah, so, it was a setup. I'm always going to prevail if I'm being set up.
All right. So he talked about how he was set up. So that was like pretty much what happened in that interview. Now I'm going to go over different responses that people have been having all over social media. So as you guys know, he has been still every single day, even before this new interview with Willie D, constantly breaking the internet off of the interview that he did with Shannon Sharpe. And at the heels of it, he now announced, or Tory Hart, which is Kevin Hart's ex-wife, now announces that she is going to be going on tour with Katt Williams. And a lot of people felt like it was a chess move. Now, Kevin Hart also responded to Tory Hart going on tour with Katt Williams. So I'm going to show you guys that as well. So as you see right here, Tory Hart posted a picture of her and Katt Williams, and it says, hashtag Charlotte, hashtag Orlando, hashtag Tampa. Come see me live with my good friend Katt Williams on the Dark Matters tour. And Shade Room put, Kevin Hart's ex-wife Tory Hart reveals she is going on tour with Katt Williams.
I'm not the comedian you can give that to. I only put on comedians that are funnier than me. Anybody that ever told you differently was a fat Faison liar.
All right. And so with her post about her going on tour with him, she paired it with that clip as well. So in addition to that, a lot of people had something to say about it. Some people felt like, like I said, some people felt like it was a chess move. And then some people felt like it was messy. Some people felt like she was being messy by teaming up with Katt Williams. First, I'm going to show you the comments where people felt like it was a chess move. So somebody says, Shade in the dictionary would look like Katt Williams for president. He's been touring. Him and Tommy Davidson together is a classic. Somebody says, she's corny. Sit back, relax, be happy. What way to drop the mic. Another person says he did all that lying and bashing just to up his tour sales. Another person says, let's not forget that while they were going through their divorce, it was revealed that she wrote a large amount, I guess, of his skits, for which reflected in that settlement. And then they said she is funny. Another person says she was actually the reason he was funny in the first place. And then another person says, let me find out, Tory is the ghostwriter for Kevin. Another person says, this is chess, not checkers. Tory wrote jokes and helped Kevin get on. Kevin used his marriage for the basis of his jokes. Now it's her turn. Kevin didn't help her get on. In my Kanye voice, and when he get on, leave your ass for a white girl. Well, Aniko Hart isn't white, but you get my drip. 5, Kevin Hart literally called the new wife his rib when Tory was with him when he didn't have. Okay, so that's some of the comments. Now, so anyways, Kevin Hart responded. So this is what Kevin Hart had to say. I thought it was like right there, but.
Even Charlamagne, a lot of people were saying that Katt was trying to downplay your accomplishments. What to you is the driving force behind your success?
My success is my success. I want everybody to win. I love everybody.
I love that. Once again, you know, your ex-wife is going on tour with Katt.
I want everybody to win. I hope the tour is great.
I love that. So you are supportive of her.
All right. So he said that he wants everybody to win and he hopes the tour is great. Now, there is also another response that he did on some, I think it was like some NFL network, where he was basically saying that he don't want to respond to the circus. You just watch the circus or something like that. Oh. Here we go.
Kev, you didn't say nothing to Katt Williams when he did a 3-hour interview talking slow yesterday. You didn't put a shot clock on him.
Well, do you entertain the circus or do you watch it, Kurt? Which one do you do?
Hey, Kev, you didn't say nothing to Katt Williams when he did a 3-hour interview talking slow yesterday. You didn't put a shot clock on him.
Well, do you entertain the circus or do you watch it, Kurt?
All right.
Another fun fact about the New York Knicks. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Katt Williams bought the Knicks.
He definitely bought it.
He bought the Knicks, and it's rumored that he took the Knicks back returned them with a receipt.
Yeah, you could do that. You didn't know you could do that.
The first person ever did.
Yeah. Oh, they gave him a 30-day policy.
He bought them for 15 days.
And returned it.
Yeah. That's another fun fact about the New York Knicks.
He made the team.
He played.
He played. Oh, he played.
He played with the Knicks. He played with them.
Well, you know he's fast. They say he's fast.
Yeah.
All right, so that was Kevin Hart responding back to Katt Williams. Let's show y'all what Michael Blackson had to say. He said that Michael Blackson says Shannon Sharpe needs to write Katt Williams a check for their interview. And I agree. Normally, like, you don't really pay people to interview them because you built your platform and you don't really pay them. But being that the interview has amassed, I want to say like 30 million views in 5 days, I feel like he deserves a piece of the pie. Okay? Now, normally it's not protocol and he does not have to pay him, but I believe that he should give him a piece of the pie because if it wasn't for him, it wouldn't be that viral. Okay? Now, it takes two because Katt Williams has talked about people on other platforms and it didn't go as viral. So together they made a really good body of content or whatever. But I think he deserves a piece of the pie too. I just do. And if it was me, if I, you said it's over 40 million now. Yeah. If somebody came on my platform and even me doing my platform for however long, if somebody like quadruples my views and that is like the highest view count ever that I ever made on a video within 5 days or whatever, I would give that person a check, period. Even though that's not like something like written in the contract, I would give that person a check. So anyways, where is
your work ethic and the way you promote films, even to a point where you'll tweet out a response like to the Katt Williams situation while promoting your movie, which I thought was a brilliant way to do it. You could have also responded with a Mark Twain link because you're getting the Mark Twain Prize here in March. But I just wanted to get your perspective on that. I feel like you always respond positively to negative situations. And I wonder your perspective on that and kind of, I know your grind. I've been interviewing for years, Kevin. I know you work really hard, but what's your perspective on that and your response to that situation?
I said it, and this sums it up well. Like you don't entertain the circus, you watch it, right? And when a lion comes out and rides the bike, you don't think about it too hard. You just go, okay, that's crazy. The lion's riding a bike, and then you go home and enjoy the rest of your day. I don't feed into the stuff at all. At the end of the day, it's all entertainment to a certain degree. So you just hope that people can be smart enough and have a tremendous.
Cedric the Entertainer also responded.
I saw that you did respond to Katt Williams. I hate that, Sadie. I hate that y'all, that there's any sort of issue.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting time now. People get on these blogs and they just, start just spewing off stuff that's not even factual.
Right.
But, I let the fodder just go out there until I'm ready to respond to
your work speaks for itself.
I am who I am. I stand on that, right?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Stand on business. Ain't that what the kids say? I saw that you did respond to Katt Williams.
Stand on business. Ain't that what the kids say? Girl, stand on business. Ain't that what the kids are out there saying? Also, Mike Epps got backlash as well because he tried to insert himself into the conversation because Katt Williams did not bring him up or talk about him. And who else? Who else says something? I'm trying to get all of the responses out of the way. But see, that's it. That on that. Oh well. Let's see.
Chimp Williams.
This is Faison.
Chimp Williams. It's hard to address lunacy and hypocrisy and downright ignorance
But it's so funny how many people think this dumb, stupid motherfucker is spitting truth. But that's the internet, I guess. You guys want to believe in something so bad. I guess you left God and now you believe in Chimp Williams. And chimps like this nigga, who's an actual chimp, and you're not listening to what he's saying. He's actually calling for help. He's calling for help. None of the shit he says lines up with nothing. He runs a Ford something sub and chimps like this nigga.
All right. And so that was his response to Katt Williams. And let me see if there was anybody else who responded. Oh, Ice Cube also responded.
I would never shoot a scene in a movie, especially like Friday, where you actually see this happening on camera. That ain't my style. If you check out any of my movies, they not raunchy. We did a movie called Players Club where the subject matter was a little raunchy, but for the most part, even that, we left it to your imagination. So the only reason that kind of stuff was in the movie is because you have 3 villains in Friday After Next. You have Santa Claus stealing presents. You have Damon, just got out of prison, sweating. Craig and Dady for the rent money. And then you have Money Mike, a pimp that treats his woman. I would never shoot a rape, like a property. So Craig is always fighting the villains in the movie, from the Joker Brothers to Debo. And so we already had Craig fighting Santa Claus. And the only real way to get rid of the other 2 villains was to have them go against each other. And the plier joke was always in the script, was never, we would never ever show that, that's not my style if you look at any of my movies. So, that was never a discussion, we, at that point in everybody's career, we would listen to a certain extent, but we wasn't gonna change the movie for any actor, we do what we feel, and if it was a, like a proper.
The Money Mike in the original script got.
All right. And so I don't know why they cut it off at a weird spot on that blog, but basically what Ice Cube said was, ultimately what he ended up saying was Katt Williams was telling the truth, that he did add all of these new aspects to the movie. And he ended up basically saying that they normally don't let actors like change the role, but Katt Williams was doing such a phenomenal job and he was showing up to set and he was doing such a great job that they then ended up changing parts of the movie that he contributed to because he did such a good job. So that is what Ice Cube had to say about that. You can see the full clip on other blogs, or you can see it, I think, on his Twitter account. But yeah, so that's that on that. I just wanted to go over the new comments and new interview that he did. I'm going to have to chop up the parts where I was looking for clips, so the chat is going to probably go away. But thank you guys, everybody who sent in a super chat. Thank you, K Braggs, who has donated quite often to the channel. I appreciate you sending in super chats. And this is the new way that I'm going to highlight the super chats, because sometimes the live chat, again, is disabled because I have to like take certain stuff out to like make it a more enjoyable playback, So, that's that on that. But y'all let me know what y'all think about it. What do y'all think about his new interview with Willie D? What do you guys think about everybody's response to his interview with Shannon Sharpe? And what do you think overall? I think hopefully it does what it needs to do. He got it off his chest. He was able to address anybody that he needed to address. And he's going on tour, and I hope the tour does really well. That reminds me that being that they're going on tour, I need to find out when he has a Los Angeles date because I would love to go. But it looks like so far they only hashtagged Charlotte and something else. I didn't see California on there at all. Okay, and I did not even see Las Vegas. But if he goes to like Las Vegas or goes to Los Angeles, shoot, he got me sold.